Number corner, day 3. I've just have to turn down the volume just a little bit. I am doing this. I would like to say I'm doing this awfully early in the morning, but I am not. It's only 8:30 in the morning, and it's pretty reasonable. But my kids will probably be asleep for another 2 hours, so just trying to keep it down just a little bit. I have two high school kids doing what they do, waking up late, staying up late. I'm sure you can um, relate a little bit to that, right? So anyway, today for day 3, we're going to not necessarily begin calendar collector, but we are going to kind of go over some customary capacity, volume, right? Volumes of liquids. A couple months ago, we did our 2 liter fill or spill, and we were converting everything into milliliters before we then converted it back to liters and poured it into our 2 liter bottles. Today, we're just going to go over some customary capacity numbers, or the volume measurements for liquid that we use in the United States. All right. You don't necessarily need your calendar collector record sheet, but it might be something that you may want to um, look at and be familiar with. It's just like our 2 liter fill or spill, but we're doing 2 quarts or a half gallon. All right, we're going to spin in an amount. We're going to convert it into fluid ounces, keep a running total of those fluid ounces, and then if there are any other representations like pints, cups, quarts, whatever that might be, we'll have for our last side here. All right, so back to number corner day 3. You are going to need your number corner book because this is going to help us through the conversion process. Okay, and here it is. We have our fluid ounce conversions. It's on page 73. So what is liquid volume? Do you have an answer? Right? Liquid volume is a measure of volume of liquid, right? And in the United States, we use things like quarts, cups, gallons, pints, and fluid ounces. All right, it's just like finding the volume of like a rectangular prism that we've been doing with length times width times height. But unfortunately, we don't have a definite shape or size of liquid. All we can do is fill things to help us figure out what or how what the volume is of the liquid, or how much space that liquid takes up. We've already went through some of those customary units. If you remember when you were younger, you might have made a gallon bot where you had a body that was a gallon, and then you had the 4 quarts for the arms and the legs, and then you had 4 pints for each, or 2 pints for each quart, and then you had 2 cups for each 2 cups for each pint, and then you had 8 fluid ounces for each cup for the little fingers or whatever it is. But those are the gallon bots that we made in our younger grades. But understand that we will be collecting those fluid ounces. So you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need a graduated cylinder, and if you're going to participate with this, and you're going to need to have a collection jar that holds not 2 gallons, but 2 quarts or a half a gallon. Okay, so on page 73, we have some conversions that we would like you to kind of go over. Look at our little demonstrations up here. We have a quart here, and see how many cups fit in a quart. Like, this is our representation for a cup. And so it's pretty easy, right? 4 cups equal a quart. How many equal a gallon, right? So this is our quart. So we have 4 quarts equal a gallon. We have 2 cups equal a pint. And we have a little fluid ounce here where we have 8 fluid ounces will equal 1 cup. All right. Now, looking at these pictures, we have to label these from smallest to largest. All right, so why don't you pause the video, write that in, and then I will add the answers in shortly. Pause the video and get those written in. All right, so smallest. The smallest is our fluid ounces, and I'm just going to go FLOZ because that is a abbreviation for what fluid ounces would be. What is the next smallest measurement of volume? You write down cup. Yes, cup would be next. After cups come pints, right? Because here I see that it only takes 2 cups to make 1 pint, but I see here it takes 4 cups to make 1 quart, right? Which would then mean I would have to have 2 pints to make a quart, and then 4 quarts to make a gallon. Did you get that for an answer? All right, now let's use the table below to do equivalencies for our 2 quart spill. So we're going to be spinning some of these numbers, and we're going to need to convert those to fluid ounces. See, there are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So keep that in mind. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and, oh, I'm not going to fill that in. I need a text box. Pause the video and fill in the answers. All right, so hopefully you did that already. I'm just going to make some adjustments here so I can try to keep our numbers lined up. 8 or 1 cup would be 8 ounces, right? Or 8 fluid ounces. A half a cup being how much? Well, half of 8 would be 4 ounces, right? A fourth of a cup would be 2 ounces, and 3/4 of a cup. Well, if one fourth of a cup is 2, 3 of those would be right 6 ounces. I knew you knew it. And then 1 1/4 cups, which is kind of easy, where I can kind of look at this and I can add it to that. And then I take the 2 numbers and I find out that that is 10 fluid ounces. Awesome. All right, let's keep doing this over here and do it for this page here. So pause the video, get this side of the page done. Thanks. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you got the answers and we'll just go over them real quick. All right, so 1 3/4 cups. So 3/4 being 6 ounces and 1 cup being 8 ounces. So I have to ask myself, what is 8 plus 6? And that gives me 14 ounces. All right, 2 cups. 2 cups. Well, I know 1 cup is 8 ounces, so that is 6. Oh, not 12. 16 ounces. 1 pint. Well, how much is a pint? Well, I know a pint is 2 cups. So that's kind of tricky, right? But it's the same as the one above it. So we're going to just put 16 ounces there. 1 quart. 1 quart being 4 cups, right? So now we have to convert it to cups as well. That gives us an opportunity to do that over here. So what I forgot to do is I forgot to put 2 cups here. 4 quarts being, well, we have 2 pints, so 32 ounces. Is that what you got? And we know that that's 4 cups. And then a gallon. How many cups? Well, if 1 quart is 4 cups, and there's 4 quarts in a gallon, so that would be 16, or 4 times 32, right? Which would be what? Just trying to get this worked out, but I don't think it's going to work out too much to fit in that box. 4 times 32 is 128 ounces, or 16 cups. 16 times 8 is 128, so that matches up. All right, look at number 3. It says, use the information on the table to answer the following questions. So using this table, using any of these tables, answer the questions. Pause the video and come back to us when you're done. All right, welcome back. So it says, how many pints are equal to a gallon? That's an interesting question because I have 2 pints in a quart, right? And I have 4 quarts in a gallon. So I just have to multiply 4 times 2, right? Which would equal 8 pints. As for every 2 pints is a quart. Good answer. Now, how many quarts are equal to a gallon? So I have that, and it is 4 quarts. Good. So how many pints are equal to a quart? Well, I kind of figured that one out previously, right? Because there's 4 cups in a quart and 2 pints, or 2 cups in a pint. So if I just had another 2, which would leave me another pint or a quart. So there are 2 pints in a quart. Oh, not whatever that says. Then how many cups are in a quart? Where can we find that information? There it is. 4 cups. Right? All right. So now write some common comparisons between the units. So in your mind, or on your workbook page, you make some conversions. You can say how many fluid ounces in 2 gallons, or whatever you happen to do, or whatever you happen to use, cups to gallons to quarts to pints to fluid ounces. You do some conversions here. There are no wrong answers. Just make sure, or there are no wrong choices for this side, but just make sure that you have the equivalents over here. Very similar to what we did here, but you can use any of our customary measurements of volume, okay, or capacity. All right, so that about does it for today. Hopefully everything's going well for you. This is the end of day 3. If you have any questions on any of this page, this is going to come in real useful, so make sure that everything is filled out for when we do our 2-quart fill or spill portion of our number corner. All right, so if you don't have any questions for your teachers or any of your helpers, have a great day and enjoy math.